Hey everyone, and welcome back to the RedBeard Outdoors podcast. I'm Jonathan, your host, and to start off, Happy New Year. I don't believe I said that in the gear review that posted on Monday, so here we go. Happy New Year. Hope you guys have had some amazing first couple days of 2023. It's so crazy to say. I'm going to have to get used to saying that and signing that. That's always a struggle at the beginning of the year. By the time you get it down, we're into the next year, right? So today, guys, again, thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate the growth that we saw in 2022. I'm stoked for the guests that we have lined up to start off 2023. And of course, gear reviews on Mondays. Wednesdays, like today, is going to be your solo episode with me, where I get to share something I've been reading, a quote, an idea that's gone through my mind, things along those lines. And of course, Saturdays are just the great conversations that I get to have with some amazing guests that provide their time and come on the show so we can learn from them. So thanks again, guys, for tuning in. As we kick off the year, of course, I want to invite you personally to come join us over at RedBeard's Fit Crew. You know, over at RedBeard's Fit Crew, we have a great community of individuals that you will be able to accomplish the goals that you set for yourself this year by finding a great community over there on that Facebook page, linking up with people that you'll eventually become hiking buddies, camping buddies, accountability partners, or just good friends in general, so that you can accomplish the goals that you've set for yourself. That's what we do over there. That's the whole reason why I started the group. I'd love to have you over there. Check out the link down below, or just go type in RedBeard's Fit Crew on Facebook while you're listening to the show. Outside of that, guys, I want to give a quick shout out, of course, to the partners of the show. Definitely, guys, will fit every single need that you may have as far as gear is concerned or backcountry nutrition. Let's check these out here. So, first and foremost, of course, Phorm Outdoors and Phorm. If you need any supplementation in your diet, guys, let me know. I'd love to point you in the right direction. Check out the link down below for Phorm supplements. And of course, the Phorm Outdoors Facebook group, another great community to check out and get some new friends. This show is also brought to you by Alpen Fuel, Heather's Choice, BlackOvis, Ollin Digiscoping, A3 Archery Bowstrings, Kestrel Glassing Systems, Quattro Archery, Absolute Aid CBD, and of course, Affect Beard Oil. If you guys, again, have any questions about those, give me a shout, whether that be an email or a message. More than happy to answer any questions you have. Go support the guys that are supporting this show. Now, on to the good stuff. Let's talk today about something that I've been reading. So in phase 3, you read 10 pages out of a physical book every single day. And I actually love it. I've grown to love reading again through doing the Live Hard programs. And here in phase 3, I've been reading The Magic of Thinking Big. I want to say Andy Frisella has mentioned it a couple times in his podcast, and I just figured I'd check it out. I'd add it to the list. I have a growing library of books behind me on my bookshelf, and glad to add this one to it. So this one here is just, I absolutely love the idea, the magic of thinking big, just thinking, having those goals that maybe scare you a little bit, goals that are out of what you may think is possible when you first start getting after the goals. And of course, there's a phrase, or I guess a quote from this book that I'd like to share with you. If you have the book, go to page 151. But he says, remember, people who tell you it cannot be done almost always are unsuccessful people, are strictly average or mediocre at best in terms of accomplishment. So for me, that stood out because I don't want to be average or mediocre as far as accomplishments are concerned. And looking back at 2022 was such a great year. And now that I've set my goals for Q1 of 2023, I've set some goals that kind of scare me a little bit, to be honest with you. Whether that be here with the podcast, building relationships with companies in the hunting and outdoors industry, whether that be with my family, financial goals, and things along those lines with my career as well, my 9 to 5, that I've got a bunch of things kind of up in the air. And some of these goals, honestly, they scare me a little bit, which is good. But I found that there are very few people that I can have a genuine conversation with about my goals. Very few people that actually are intrigued by it. I have people that will listen, and I think people at this point have learned not to tell me that that's not possible, because I've been, ramming through that, or bulldozing over it, as my wife would say, all the expectations that have been set before. So, but even then, I want to have good, constructive conversations with people, and I find I've only got a handful of people that I can genuinely share my goals with, and them not say it can't be done, or at least look at me like I'm crazy and just silently let me talk. It's hard, guys. It really is. It's difficult to find people who won't tell you it can't be done. But when you find those people, you got to latch on to them. Something else that I really enjoy is being around people that have accomplished way more than I'd even thought about or have had the idea of thinking about. I've got a couple of friends that have done things that I didn't even know were in the realm of possibility, that these accomplishments even existed, let alone that you could do them. And so I love having friends like that. Another goal you should have is at least one, if not multiple, friends that don't agree with you on everything. And I can say that probably most of my friends, we don't agree on 100% of everything, just because you don't want to have a sounding board of friends. Because if you do, then you're always right. You're never really improving, stretching, learning how to discuss your point of view, not necessarily defend it, but to support it with facts, to do your research and actually stretch your brain a little bit and to work your brain. So that's something that each and every one of us should have, is that goal of at least having one friend, if not multiple, that don't agree with us on everything. Doesn't mean you have to argue with these people and be their friends. It just means that you need to have constructive conversations with people and understand different points of view than yours. And you also need to know how to be able to sophisticatedly discuss your ideas and why you believe what you believe. So those are all key things. But just again, to reiterate, people who tell you it cannot be done almost always are unsuccessful people, are strictly average or mediocre at best in terms of accomplishment. Now, again, there's no judgment for that. I don't judge people that want to be average, that are okay with that. It almost pains me a little bit to see people that have these great potentials and almost basically squander them because they're okay with being average. They're okay with it. And I don't want that for anyone. I want you to be able to accomplish your fullest capabilities, whether that be with my children, my spouse, my friends, my family. I want everyone to be able to achieve to the highest. Companies that I work with, I want to provide the best value that I can to them. I also understand that there's some companies that I can't provide value to at this point in time. So if I want to work with them, I need to be of more value to them. So all of those things, guys, come into play when you're setting the goals that you have set for 2023. Again, I don't do years at a time. I do quarters at a time. Also, something that's kind of come to my mind recently, that I listened to a podcast with. It was Nick Bear and Ryan Mickler on the Order of Man podcast. And they were talking about backwards planning or backwards blueprinting or something along those lines. I'm going to mess up the terminology. There's an official terminology, but basically backwards planning, where you set a goal, 10-year goal, whatever. And then you come back to the present and you look at that goal from a distance. Like I'm imagining, looking at it on a map and plotting your points to get to that end goal. That would be backwards planning. Finding that goal and then what steps do you need to take to accomplish that goal? So backwards planning. I love that idea. Those are some things that I've been working on. Again, taking one quarter at a time is kind of taking those steps to get towards certain goals that you may have set, the long-term goals and the short-term goals that you have. So that's something else that can be key when you're speaking with your friends, especially around this time of year, as again, whether you take it year at a time, whatever, I do a quarter at a time. I like to reflect with my friends and let them know, hey, these are kind of my goals. What do you think? And I love having those conversations, whether that be over lunch, whatever. And, guys, you just find people that you can genuinely have those discussions, and they'll push you maybe even a little bit further than you thought. So definitely want to have that in your life. Let's see here. There's one other thing I wanted to share with you guys, and it's on page 159 of, again, the book, The Magic of Thinking Big. And let's see here. Okay, so every farmer in the Corn Belt knows that if he puts plenty of fertilizer on his corn, he's going to get a bigger yield. Thinking, too, must be given additional nourishment if we want to get better results. So you need to nourish your thinking. What are some ways, again, of nourishing your thinking, guys? As we're starting this new year, you've got some goals for yourself. Nourishing that thinking would be, one, talking about it and setting goals that are a little bit bigger than maybe you safely feel like you can accomplish. You want to stretch yourself a little bit. And also that nourishment is going to come from having discussions with people that genuinely feel that you can succeed at whatever you put yourself to. They're not going to do the work for you, but they believe that you can get it done. Or if they don't believe you can get it done, they give you honest feedback as to why. And they're not saying that you can't accomplish it, but they're saying that maybe you should better your plan a little bit or take maybe smaller chunks at a time to get to that goal. Not that you can't accomplish that goal, but maybe that your plan is not adequate to get to that goal. And they help you nourish that plan and grow and get better so that you can, in the end, accomplish the goal that you have. So whether that be, goals, aspirations, your whatever it is, guys, that you've set for 2023 with your fitness, finance, family, spiritual, again, whatever it may be. I want the best for you. I want you to be the hero of your story. That's what you should be. You should be the hero of your story, whether that be for your family, whether that be for your spouse, whether that be the hero of your business or of the office that you work in. Again, whatever it may be the hero of your story. Don't let people, small-minded people that are okay with being average, get in the way of your goals and aspirations. If you feel like they are holding you back, you need to find, not necessarily don't boot them to the curb and be a jerk about it, but let them know that you're hanging out with other people. You don't have to necessarily tell them, hey, I'm leaving this friend group and going to another, but they'll notice that you don't necessarily have as much time to just sit around and BS with them like you did before. That you don't tolerate their lack of confidence. Whatever you want to call it, whatever it is in your situation, you need to find yourself in situations where you will be able to find that group of friends that will challenge you. It's just like with dating, for example. There's a lot of people out there that'll say, man, I can't find someone, blah, blah, blah. And I never understood online dating before I met my wife. I kind of laughed at people a little bit. Honestly, it was probably a little critical to do so. But when I came back from my mission, everyone was on Tinder and whatever other dating apps there were. And I was like, we work in a gym where the most fit individuals or the people that are striving to be more fit are going to be here. You can't spend some time and talk to them. If that's not the girl or guy that you want to be with, then go to places where your ideal girl or guy are going to be. Same thing with finding friends. If you want friends that are going to go and hang out and get drunk or go clubbing every weekend, then go hang out in those places. If you want friends that are striving to be better hunters, better at fitness, better with their nutrition, those kind of things, better with their spiritualness, then you need to find yourself in the church, in the gym, maybe even a different gym than what you've been going to. Maybe you go to a CrossFit gym this year. Maybe you try something else out, different than what you normally do. Maybe you're not hitting your goals with your finances, so you hire a financial advisor. Or if you already have one that you don't like because you're not hitting the goals that you've explained to them that you want, hire a new one. Go search for a new one. If you're unhappy in your marriage, look at yourself and see if you are attracting the spouse that you want, which obviously you're already married. So, but are you providing value to your spouse rather than just simply asking of them their value? Are you providing them value? It's an honest question. Ask yourself that. If you're not married, again, in the dating scene, are you going to provide to your future spouse what you're expecting of them? So build yourself up with your goals this year. Maybe you need to go back and revamp some of them. Maybe you don't. If you don't, that's awesome. Great job at setting goals. But definitely make sure that your goals line up with where you want to be a year from now, or even 3 months, 6 months from now. Line up your goals with your end goal. So your baby steps to get to your end goal, your short-term and your long-term goals. And one last thing, guys, just one last thing. Look, going back to the small-mindedness, the people that are okay with being average. I'm in the gym 5 to 7 days a week. And when I'm not in the gym, I'm usually on the mountain or I'm outside doing some form of physical activity with my family or just by myself. I've been seeing since probably the beginning of December memes talking about people that are going to be starting up at the gym here in January. Don't be a dick. I said this on Instagram, and one of the guys said to me, he's like, okay, I get it. 2023, don't be a dick. No, but really, don't be the jerk that is picking on people that are just getting started, New Year's resolutioners, whatever you want to call them. Everyone started somewhere. And I 100% respect the person that has been working out for years and years and years. And I also, in a different way, respect the person that is starting today, day one. We've all been there. Whether your first day in the gym was in junior high or high school with the sports team, I can distinctly remember when I started going and working out with the football team over the summer for high school. Man, I was intimidated out of my mind looking at those offensive linemen, linebackers. I distinctly remember fullbacks and linebackers were jacked. Like the offensive and defensive linemen were big dudes, but I remember thinking linebackers and fullbacks were just jacked out of their mind. They were fast, they were strong, they were killing the workout. And I remember thinking, man, I can't even lift like a quarter of what I don't even know what I lift, to be honest with you, because I'm just barely getting started. Everyone has had that moment. The last thing that you need, or that those people need that are just getting started, is for someone to come up to them and have that small-minded mentality of, well, wow, you're one of the bandwagoners or whatever you want to call them. I can't believe you're just getting started today. You should have been started years ago. Well, yeah, but guess what? They're changing today. So instead of being the jerk that's going to sit there and criticize the New Year's resolutioners, in turn, take this as an opportunity to change someone's life. Walk up to them, shake their hand. You can tell the people who are new in the gym. Be nice to them. Let them know that you're there if they have any questions. Be willing to help. And you can be the change in someone's life that will 5-10 years from now, when they are ripped out of their minds or they've hit their fitness goals that they wanted to start today in 2023, they'll remember you. Instead of all the other people that they're sure are looking at them because maybe they're overweight or they don't know how to lift, etc. People are already trying to overcome that, basically their worries of being looked at as the weirdo. They're already overcoming that. Go shake their hand, tell them you're there to help, and help change their life. Be that person, not the one that is being the jerk, not the one that's going to make the memes, not the one that's picking on him. Remember your day one in the gym. Everyone's day was different, but remember your day one, why you started and why you're still going today. And be the bigger person, shake their hand and offer your help. And I guarantee you'll change that person's life. All right. Now with that, I know that's kind of a serious note to end on, guys, but I felt like that needed to be said because, again, I'm sick and tired of seeing all these memes of the New Year's resolutioners. And let's just change that. Let's make it so that they're no longer New Year's resolutioners, but they are gym goers for life. And that you've changed their life. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in today, guys. Again, if you haven't yet, follow and over on YouTube where you'll get the best gear reviews and, of course, the best conversations on the YouTube channel where you can watch it all. Go subscribe over there, and let's keep this thing growing, guys. If you like the show, share it on Instagram, tag me, and thank you so much. Appreciate your support. And, of course, get out, live your life, and love it.